Oh, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Welcome
Yeah,
back.
it's a bit
Like
colder
beanie.
tonight.
I know,
It's a bit
hey,
colder, but
jumpers on compared to last
I
time.
need a haircut, mate.
Oh, is that why you're covering
That's
the
what
head
put-
up?
yeah,
Is it
covering
bad
up,
hairdo
mate.
under there or what? I'm
It's
the
getting
same.
a bit furry, mate.
That's it, a bit
you know.
furry.
So I thought I'd do something different.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to Two Dads and a Mic. Welcome back.
Yes.
And yeah, what are we having? Coffee. We're off the alcohol. Or...
Yeah, taking a little break for a
That's
while.
it. So
So yeah, salute. Nice coffee you got here.
not bad, eh? Not bad.
And I'm drinking out of this little,
Special cup. Where does that
Special
cup
cup.
come from?
I'd say Japan or something,
Japan.
wouldn't it? I don't know, I can't see anything. but-
Okinawa. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Miyagi.
So, I just want to recap on last episode of the generational baggage.
Yep.
Always good looking back to see that we might have missed a few points that wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
So, I might have mentioned it, but being aware of having conditioned of historical behaviours. So.
Yeah. That's a big word.
Yeah, I know. My vocabulary is struggling. But the conditioning.
Yeah.
So you condition from historical behaviours, which you bring onto another relationship or so forth. And just being self-aware of when you analyse your partner or your ex-partner. Like,
Yeah.
you're analysing them, but don't forget to analyse yourself. So
Yeah.
it's all that part of looking inside yourself and stuff like that. So I just wanted to clear that point up. And opening up communication early, in the early stages. Try and recenter, prioritise communication, because I know that kind of darts in and out of a relationship, or depending. And just also just try and seek to improve those communication channels. Like if there's something that's not working, try and recenter it, try and find out how do we communicate again.
Yeah.
So they're the points that I kind of left out of the last episode when we were discussing.
We'll see, because it seems to always come up in every episode, and it's going to be a common thing. Communication,
Yeah,
massive
it's
out of
very,
everything.
very important.
whether it's in your old relationship or your new relationship, something that you've got to take with you. I reckon communication's key.
No, it is. It's for everything, even
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
If I'm doing something and then I don't communicate to you what I've done and I haven't come back and you come to finish it, you don't know what you're coming back to finish.
Yeah.
Why? Because we didn't communicate. You didn't ask me. I didn't tell you. So communication is massive. I can't stress enough of how important
Great.
it
Yeah.
is.
And
It's
I'd
just
say
in your
a
general
lot
life.
a lot of marriages break down because of that factor. Again, if there's no communication, so
There
things
isn't
get.
there. You have a
pulled
look at a
down.
couple sit down at a table in a cafe, restaurant. I wouldn't say 9 out of 10, but the statistics are high that they might have been married 15, 20 years. They're not even looking at each other talking.
Yeah.
They're on their phone. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Or
saying?
I remember going to a cafe restaurant, I don't know, a few months ago,
With a-
same thing, and I'm sitting on one table with my partner, and we're looking over, and there's this older couple. I know the food was great, but geez, they said nothing the whole time.
Yeah.
Nearly an hour. And
Yeah.
I'm being serious, like nothing whatsoever. And look, I know some people communicate like that, and they're better off not talking.
Yeah, but
I just found that
what's-
weird.
what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point in
You might sit there
being
with a
together or-
newspaper,
Yeah.
reading, or you're scrolling the latest sports results. She's looking at something else. The kids are on their own tablets. No one's actually talking.
Yeah.
There's obviously,
True.
is your life that boring, or or is this just? You
Yeah.
could have done this at home. That's
And-
my point.
and
You've
it's-
gone out to spend $150 on breakfast, whatever, lunch, whatever. You could have done it at home.
No, it's
'Cause
true.
You're not doing anything here. You're out and about, but everyone's on their own little.
Yeah,
Device.
That's right. And it's not if it's a younger crowd where they're all sitting around a table and everyone's on their devices. This was a person that were in their 50s, so it's not if they were streaming Facebook or Instagram. They had nothing to talk
But
about. It's sad.
that's what I'm saying to
Very
you.
sad.
Like when I go out with my new partner, phone's on the table, yeah, because the kids aren't with me.
Yeah,
But we're discussing.
that's right.
We're talking. We're discussing, even if it's just
Small chat, but
small
it's that-
talk.
it's that
What
thing
happened
where
at
it's
work
eye
this
to eye.
week? My daughter did this. My son did that. It's still communication.
Yeah,
You talk about everything, and that's the way you should be in a relationship. You should be able to talk about everything. That's where you meet someone that you can be yourself. you don't have to put on a different face and say, okay, I need to behave like this because this person gets upset if I no. So this is where,
and again, this could be another topic that we'll bring up. Again,
absolutely.
the social media side of things, whether that it's too much, where people don't know how to communicate anymore, whether they're that.
Well, you look at the younger generation; they'd rather text you than actually
Yeah.
call you, or they're on their phones constantly.
But even that old romance, that old style where people don't open doors anymore for for girls.
Oh,
or guys.
that stuff.
That doesn't, to me. I don't see it anymore. I'm not showing my age. I'm 48, but that was something. Yeah, look, I'm a romantic, 100%. You want to sit there and engage with the conversation with your partner.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
You always let a woman through the door. You always open the door for her. You
Yeah.
know.
To me, it's lost whether they're on a bus or a train. Hey, would you like to sit down? And again, look, we'll leave this for another topic, whether it's got something to do with today's modern society of how it is. But we're old school. We're taking it back. All right, we're taking it back. But yeah, guys, there's that recap on that. We are going to kick it off now with tonight's episode. What are we talking about tonight, big guy?
We are talking about triggers.
Triggers is in happy trigger.
Triggers like happy
pow,
trigger.
pow.
Pow triggers. Pow triggers. Triggers as in the sense of places, things, music that bring you back to where you were. So,
are you talking about as in early stages, like if you had split up from a marriage? Again, I would say partnership. I don't know why I say that word.
Yeah, relationship.
Partner, but yeah. Well, that's what it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, so what it could be, you've just broken up.
Yeah.
You're trying to find what the hell's going on, and then a song that your favourite song came on. It could be your wedding song. So that triggers that emotion. And you think, oh, I'm sad again. Oh, why is it like this? There's so many different sort of triggers. There could be, if you've got kids together and you've gone back to pick them up and you go back to the family home or a family unit, that triggers you emotionally. It could be their parents' place. You used to always go on a Sunday and have family dinners, and now you haven't seen them for a while, so then just the mention of their names brings back, it triggers you again.
It does.
Yeah, smells. There's
places that you've
travelled that now you want to travel back to, and it's just like, oh, the last time I was here, we were a family unit, and now I'm going there with a new partner. There's sort of triggers that, until you get to a certain stage, that will affect you. So this is the part where we start moving forward, where we take 20 steps forward and then a trigger happens and we've gone back 10 steps emotionally because we haven't healed yet. Yeah. We haven't healed. So these triggers are still upsetting us. And I'm sure you remember your triggers if you want to touch on it. What sort of triggers were yours? And I'll bring mine up once you're done.
Yeah, but look, I remember, it was funny because as you were just talking, I was thinking back and, I was not smiling on the camera, but it made me realise when you said the word triggers, because I do remember after my split up, and I was trying to remember to get to a place that I went with my kids, and I guess my ex at the time when things were all normal. And it was a place that we went to, it was a nice place on the water, had a nice cafe. It was just one of those beautiful days that we spent as a family. And then, obviously, cut a long story short, many, many months later, I remember going within that vicinity in the area. And I never forget, and this is honestly true, like I was honestly stressing out, driving. I remember I was nearly in tears listening to music at the same time. And I was trying to find this particular place that we all had went to. But it was the trigger for me was more inside because I was stressing out and driving and trying to remember how to get to this place. And it was starting to freak me out a little bit. I was having a bit of a panic attack as well too. Yep. And I ended up finding the place after, I don't know, about half an hour, 25 minutes, whatever it was. And it was like a breath of fresh air once I did find it, like that build up of anxiety that was overtaking me. But when I did find it, obviously it made me break down even more. But it was like I needed to get there, and again, whether it was something personally for myself that I needed to be there, whether it was going to shed more light on my separation.
So
or
you
me
just
missing
wanted
the
to
kids.
visit the place? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, I wanted to revisit the place, maybe because it was going to stimulate some memories for me
Okay.
with the kids.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it was a happy time, and I
Yeah.
guess because I was going through a bad part,
Yeah.
I was maybe thinking psychologically in my head that if I get there, it's going to make me feel better because
Yeah.
that was a good time. If it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. You're trying to find.
Yeah, it was a strange time, but whether you want to say, did it help my triggers? Did it help my anxiety? It did, but it did make it harder. So you could sort of say it was one of those things at early stages where a trigger can put you back 10 steps.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a bit of a weird one, but at the same time, it was more a thing because I needed to find that place. So again, bit of a weird one, but hopefully, that can help what what you're wanting to.
Yeah.
ask, if
Well,
that- But yeah, as in triggers, as in things
like just hearing her name. Was there certain smells that, was it,
Yeah, definitely music, definitely smells. Like obviously, look,
and the
we'll say
kids
it, whether
and the
it's perfume, whether
kids
it's-
seeing photos, because I know one of the first things I did was get rid of photos.
Yeah,
I cleared everything out with the photos, and I think that was part of the healing process.
yeah,
Was not avoiding the situation,
Yeah.
but if I deleted that from my visual, I felt that it wasn't in my face all the time. I wasn't constantly reminded of the life that I had.
So when you say things like, obviously you got your personal photos within your phone, but then what about things like social media?
Yeah,
like
so
Facebook
social
and-
media, I disconnected from her on the social media platforms. I didn't
Yeah.
want to know about her life. I felt that she didn't need to know about mine.
Yeah.
So I kind of disconnected.
If you don't want to be my mate, you want to be
Yeah,
my fan. so to
yeah.
speak,
If you're still watching what I'm doing,
Doing-
you're a fan. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So I kind of disconnected myself from that.
Yep,
And that way, I kind of felt that I had control.
yep.
Um,
Can I step in and ask you?
yeah.
Was that a hard thing for you to
Oh,
do?
very hard.
On the
Very
social
hard.
media side, even though you've been, even though she's your partner or your wife, and you've been mates on Facebook. We'll say Facebook because of
Yeah,
our age, all right?
Insta, Facebook.
Yeah, was it hard? Was it a hard thing? Like you're sort of sitting there thinking, "Do I hit the delete button? Do I
But
keep
it wasn't.
Do I
It
delete
wasn't until maybe I don't know, maybe a month or two later that I disconnected it from social media pretty much straight away.
Yeah,
But the photos, that was a
that
kind of
harder?
a slower process. Yeah,
Okay.
because there was a lot of birthdays, there was a lot of family trips, there was a lot of,
memories.
memories.
Yeah,
So I'm not saying the memories are always deleted.
Yeah.
I've still got memories. The memories are there. But having them in my face or having them on my phone while I'm scrolling back to find something
Yeah.
is something that I didn't want.
yeah.
So that was part of my healing.
Yeah.
It was deleting that.
It's like a healing process as you're going through it for you to move forward.
That's right.
It sounds funny, but you need to delete. We'll use that as an example because
You-
I remember
you need to.
it was the same thing for me, and it's going to sound weird. I'll never forget. I was living at your house, and I remember, deleting, say, my ex from Facebook. It was a hard thing for me. It was a big thing.
Of course
Like
it was.
thinking,
I kept asking you.
yeah,
remember?
have you done it? Have
deleted
you done it? I was like, no, not yet. I remember doing the photos before the social media. That was a hard thing for me to delete off social media. I don't know why. Again, whether that's that thing in everyone's head today. Oh, I'm gonna, take her off my social media. It was like that was overpowering me. The phone, the Facebook was beating me.
Yeah.
And
But
but I
think-
did it. It needed to be done because for me it was a step. It was a process. I remember you saying it. You've got to do it. You've got to do
You
it.
have to. Well, for me, it worked.
Yeah,
For me, it worked.
So
Whether
you
it works
did.
for anyone else, it worked for you.
yeah,
Does it work for anyone else out there? Maybe it does.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's part of letting go.
yeah. And again, that's baggage. That's not letting go. Then that's baggage on top of your shoulders. That's stress. That's
Yeah.
everything on top of everything that's going on. Whether it's smells, whether it's music.
Yeah, it's
Um,
stuff you don't need to carry anymore.
Yeah, look,
it's letting it go, and it's like everything. Just let it go.
Yeah, I guess for me in
It's
the
moving
early
on.
stages,
It's moving
it
on
was
in
your life.
in your self growth, in your
Yeah.
healing process. It's that moving on period.
Yeah.
So-
I'd have to say for me, like in the early stages, yeah, all that stuff was hard. Music, smells, photos, and all that. But I'd say
People that are
people,
associated with the
yeah,
family,
whether
because-
it could be your ex-in-laws, you might bump into an old friend in the street that knew your ex, and you sort of feel a little bit not timid or uncomfortable, but then it revamps memories, and you think, oh shit, and then you start thinking
Disgusting.
back. Yeah, discussing,
So
opening up.
remember I told you, you're going to tell your story so many times,
Get off.
it's going to get so boring.
Yeah.
You're just like,
but you know what? You're that good at saying it. It's like,
but that's healing as
Yeah,
well.
it is.
That's what I didn't realize. Like,
I did. I remember doing it at work. I remember telling you my story or my mates at work, and you guys used to say, "Look, I don't care how many times you tell the story, as long as you're feeling better about yourself,
Yes.
you're getting it off your chest."
but to remember the first time you told that story to someone, you were still emotional. I was.
Yeah,
I
100%.
cried.
Yeah.
I cried on a building site
yeah.
with this big
How
dude.
dare you? You're a man, but you're not allowed to.
I know, but
Yeah.
I had this big foreman, and he was the sweetest guy, and he's like, "Man, are you all right?" And I went, "Bro, this has happened to me, this, and this," and me explaining it is, I just got emotional,
Yeah, yeah,
and he just put his hand on my shoulder, and I said, "Bro, it's okay, it's fine. I went through it,
yeah.
and now you're going through it. But let me tell you, everything's going to be all right."
Isn't it
And
funny?
I was just like,
Yeah.
I had no idea everything was going to be all right. I was too caught up in the emotion of losing what I had but that just,
It's hard. As weird and hard as weird and as hard as it is. Like, again, the same for me. I remember. I'll be honest with you. I remember crying at work. Same sort of thing. And when you think, "Oh, if I'm going to be embarrassed to tell your mate about it," you'll be surprised, guys, because a lot of people out there are going through the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And it blows you away because of the level of the respect.
but you're making progress.
Yeah, and you don't realise it as
You
you're making progress.
you don't realize you're making
Yeah,
progress.
key word there, progress.
Do you
100%.
remember when I was on the dating sites and I'd be like,
Which one?
I'm talking to 10 girls and all I'm doing is repeating the same story over and over. But then it was my healing.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't realise
It was my progress.
Yeah.
That me telling my story, I had no emotion to it anymore.
Yeah,
Because I'd said it so many times,
it was going.
it was
fading.
gone. There was no, but that was a process that
Yeah.
went a while. There was still times, don't get me wrong, my in-laws, God love them, beautiful people, they'd invite me for coffee. And they'd say to my kids, "Well, how's your dad? How's your dad? Tell your dad to come over. Tell your dad, I want to have a coffee with him."
Did you go over?
I couldn't, man.
Yeah, too early or just
For the first 2 years, I couldn't sit down with them.
Yeah, well, I guess walking in their house is going to reminisce memories. You know,
It's
whether
gonna
it was
be a
time
trigger.
Out a barbecue in the backyard. The
So I was
discussions and-
avoiding the situation.
Yeah,
And that's my only little key here.
yeah,
If your triggers are still raw,
yeah,
avoid the situation.
Yeah.
So like taking you out of your environment was helping you avoid the situation.
yeah.
Because if you had stayed in that situation, in that environment, you
Things
would have been
toxic. I would have gone backwards 10 times. I'm telling you,
you would have been probably locked up right now.
100%.
So-
I'm using that word because it's true. Honestly, I would have.
So taking yourself out of that environment, you're avoiding the situation. So you're avoiding seeing these people or a text message or someone or you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you've moved out of there. So I had to do the same with my in-laws. I had to avoid the situation because I wasn't ready to see them. I have gone and had a coffee with them recently.
Yeah, that's what I was
But-
going to ask you. Like, that was so long ago, and if after everything now, if you were to, you just said you've seen them. If you were to see them, it wouldn't really
No,
trigger
I love
anything,
them.
would it? Yeah,
I love them. They're beautiful
Yeah.
people. They accepted me for who I am.
yeah,
And not being from that culture or whatever else or that upbringing, but they accepted me as one of their own kids.
that's awesome.
And to me, I have a lot of respect for them.
That's
I have a lot of love for them.
yeah.
So
It
yeah,
goes a long way.
I've had a coffee with them.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I've
by
been-
you, like again, whether I'm twisting it or not, but see that whether that was that time thing, and then by you seeing it makes you respect them, and there's that.
there's no connection to my past life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not as if I've detached myself or blanked my memory like a sci-fi movie or something.
Yeah,
It's I've chosen to act this way. Why? Because I don't have any triggers anymore.
yeah,
I can see my ex wife with her new partner. I go shake his hand. We have a chat. I've got no animosity to anybody.
yeah.
Like it's gone. Like if that happened
In the early stages,
3.5 years ago, I
Yeah.
probably would have gone, I'm going to knock this guy out.
Yeah.
But I avoided the situation. You know,
Don't put yourself in a circumstance, that baggage. Try to avoid the situation.
If you avoid the situation, the triggers won't happen.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying live a completely different life, but I'm saying
try to change it.
Be
up a
aware
bit. Yeah.
that certain triggers will happen.
Yeah.
It's just a question of
how you handle the situation.
How you handle it. So it might be a song, a smell, you know, picking the kids up, or you know, you might be thinking, oh, I remember when she used to wear that dress and blah 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 blah. You don't think like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's like a switch in your head. It's like a little switch in your head that goes
off.
I'm not interested in that thing anymore.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say thing, but I'm not
interested
in that person anymore.
In that person, in that life. That was your life.
I don't feel a romantic attraction to that person anymore. So therefore, that person just becomes another person.
Yeah.
So, but that's the healing. That's the growth that you have.
Bad. It's nothing bad, and yeah, I guess not everyone's situation is the same, but it's the same for me too. Because I remember, like I said, at the early stages, it was hard. Whether it was smells, music, the kids going to that spot.
Yeah.
And now, as time has gone on, things have 100% gotten easier.
Yeah.
But then sometimes things do bounce back. You have your good days, you have your bad days. Look, I remember.
But in your bad days, you don't think about my old life.
No. When I mean bad days,
a shit day.
That's it. Exactly. But it's more things like I remember, like I speak to my kids a lot, whether it's on FaceTime or on the phone. That's my life, and I can't wait to see them when they come down or I go up. But I remember speaking to my daughter on or seeing one of her posts on her phone, and just seeing her in our old street made me think, not that you just sort of brings back memories of
but you're always going to have those memories.
And to me, there is sometimes it gets you down. They're also good memories. It does make you stronger inside as well too, as a human being. But as long as you know your kids and your family are safe, to me that's key. You can sleep at night. You speak to them. You have that open communication. Again, communication. It's important with your kids. Whether it is with your ex, because it just keeps that all open, whether you're not sure what's
amicable. It's amicable. Everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
And you move forward, and you start letting go of certain stuff as well.
Yeah.
You let it go of the worry. Are they okay? Are they being fed? Are they looked after? Are they being, is the new partner, is he aggressive? Is he treating her right and the kids? Because at the end of the day, when they have a new partner, you worry about the kids. Are the kids being looked after? Are the kids being forgotten about, and they go out and party and don't come back till 2 days later?
Yeah.
The things you start letting go.
Yeah.
And it's you start. It's a control thing as well.
It is, and
you want to kind of control that situation, but it's no longer in your control. So therefore, you let it go and you move forward.
It's definitely a process thing, like what me and Mark are saying. Just give it time, guys. That word time, with the emotional baggage, it's going to get easier as time goes on. Don't expect for it to be, all those emotions gone in your heart and all the rest overnight. It's not going to happen. It's just going to take time, and things will pop up here and there, emotions and baggage and all the rest, isn't it?
You know what? You get to a stage now. I don't know whether we're in these 40s. But you just don't give a fuck anymore.
No.
You just don't care.
No, it's
I couldn't care less. It's not that I don't care. It's just certain things I just don't give a shit about. Yeah. It's not worth worrying about.
No, it's not.
And it's part of that letting go thing that you just go.
Yeah, I guess when you really deep think about it, it's not worth.
It's like we mentioned in the other episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, is that it?
Yeah.
That's the worst going to happen? Like, who cares?
And again, it's hard. I guess. We look at it now. Yeah, time's gone on, and it's more for the guys and girls out there when it's that early stage. You can't see it, and no matter how many times you talk about it, but you know what? Keep talking about it. Keep talking to your mates at work, whether it's the phone, whatever it may be. Just keep talking about it, because at the end of the day, it is a healing process. So just give it time.
It's one of those things that once again, guys don't really talk much, but if you're having a beer with a mate, just say, dude, like, bro, I'm having trouble, like, Maybe you're still in the same area. You live down the road because you want to be close to the kids, but at the same time you're bumping into people and all those sort of triggers, and it gets you down.
Yeah, that's right.
So the thing is, you always keep moving forward. You always keep working on yourself. Those triggers will pass. Like everything else, like we've mentioned in other episodes, this too shall pass. Everything passes. So triggers, I no longer have triggers. I'm sure probably you're the same. You no longer... Nothing
That's
triggers
true.
you anymore. You become more whole.
And I believe if there wasn't an open communication, maybe there would have been still some lingering triggers. Like if things weren't open, discuss as in things, you know, popping up, whether it's on the same page as we're talking about now. But again, I think it's important to have that open communication. Otherwise, that way things don't.
Yeah, and
pop
you also got to have closure as well.
Yeah,
so
you do.
closure is very, very important. So once you've got
closure
that closure,
yeah.
then it's a question of
taking the emotion out of it as well.
yeah, because you know that it's over.
Yeah.
Like, and it might be like you said, the communication part. One of you two need to step up and say, okay, this is where we're at. I can't see us going any further. And that's your closure. I do not want to be with you anymore.
Yeah.
So once you hear those words, that should be your closure. And then that's when you start moving forward, healing yourself, and those triggers will pass.
Yeah.
They do. You know, it's a time thing, unfortunately. You know,
It is.
mine was a little bit longer, maybe. I don't know. But eventually it passes. And now there is no triggers.
No.
I could sit down and have a conversation with my ex-wife for an hour, and there's no, you know, and we'll be discussing the kids, or we'll be discussing something that they did, or
Yeah, it's like you're a good mate.
You
If
know,
anything, it makes you
or
feel...
she's telling me she's going on holidays with her new boyfriend.
Yeah, it's like
It
it makes you
means
feel
nothing.
better. Like it means nothing, but it's you can have that open discussion, communication, and it's not going to change anything. It's just how it is. Kids come first, and hello, goodbye. And
Kids
that's
are
it.
always got to come first, and we've discussed this before. Kids are resilient, but you need to be open and communicate with them, because they're not silly. They understand. They know what's going on. They live in a weird world as it is. It's weirder than our world that we grew up in.
Yeah.
Imagine being a kid these days.
I'll
Right?
show
We
you.
won't even go into those.
My kids are just sitting to the left of me. I'll rock and watch this. I'll be my kids. Stop! I'm only joking. Don't belt me, kids. Yeah,
But,
yeah. I love his. Dad loves his.
But yeah, they've grown up in
They have.
an interesting part of,
Yeah, that's it. And as
a
long as we're there
generation.
for them at the end of the day, that's
and that's all they care
all
about.
they care about. Love, affection, and that's all it
But
is.
yeah,
But yeah, no, definitely an interesting topic. Baggage. I feel a
Well-
bit lighter now. I'm not carrying that big.
baggage was the last episode.
Oh, not baggage. Sorry,
Triggers,
Mike.
mate.
Triggers. Fucking trigger me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's like baggage, but because I think of trigger as in bag, you know. Anyway,
Oh, trigger as in gun.
It's got something to do with my spelling mistakes. But anyway, I think I might change this coffee to vodka.
Yeah, I think we did it better when we were drunk.
Oh, God. But yeah, I guess we're wrapping up the podcast for
Yeah,
tonight.
we'll wrap it up again
Yeah.
for tonight.
Why don't you take your beanie off and show them how bad your hair is?
No, I wouldn't do that to anyone. So yeah,
All right,
so
guys.
next podcast I'll have a fresh
A nice
fresh
haircut.
cut, mate.
All right,
It'll
hook
be
us
nice.
up if anyone's in the local area for a good haircut. But all jokes aside, guys, thanks for watching. As always, drop us a comment. Any comments are welcome on the channel, and to all the new subscribers to the channel, much appreciated. It means a lot. All the comments and all the thumbs up definitely helps out the channel, guys.
So
do you
take
reckon?
care of yourselves, one step at a time. Keep moving forward. And now you're learning to let go, and just keep moving forward.
That's it.
Righto. Take it easy, guys.
See
Catch you next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Cheers. Bye bye.